Spiritual Couple.
Hey y'all, and I'm Destine with the Steady Steppin Podcast. As y'all already know, we are back with another show on Let Go and Flow. I really love the way that just come off the tongue though. Like what y'all think about that? How that just really just flow off the tongue like it was meant to be when the words was put together. They just knew who was gonna use them to make greatness. I feel like that's really what happened.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I
Drop
feel
how
that.
you like drop in the comments how you like the title of this segment.
Y'all
And
put that down there.
yeah, and we want to just welcome you to this segment. So the whole purpose of this segment is for us to show you how to flow down the stream, right? Row, row, row your boat. So instead of like, oh, we definitely have to put the mic over here. Can y'all hear us? Let us know in the comments if you could hear us. We got a couple people in here already. Let us know in the comments if you can hear us. Okay, so yeah, so the whole purpose is so that we can flow with the rhythm of the cosmos. We can go with the flow instead of consistently rowing upstream. All right. So today's topic, we are so excited, is go deeper, not wider. So Destin, go ahead. Let's break them in real quick to the topic.
Well, so the reason I dropped this topic, I dropped it initially on the Steady Stepping podcast, but I was such in just excitement because it was my son's birthday that I didn't really get to go deeper.
So
But the
you got to go
reason I
deeper
really,
now. You got to go deeper
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, we about to flow. So the reason I was even thinking about this topic was because a lot of times in this society we just get so torn between so many options that we have and perceptions of reality that we're experiencing. You're seeing people being successful over here. You're seeing people do big things over here. You're seeing people having a spiritual awakening over here. But then you like, why is my breakthrough not coming? Why is what I'm asking for, why is what I'm speaking into existence not becoming my reality? And I realized it's because you ain't went deeper yet. You haven't planted those, you hadn't let those roots really go deep. The roots are wide and they're touching a lot of people, but are they touching the main resource that's even providing all the fruit, which is you?
Mm.
And the true value of going deeper, when you go deeper, I'm realizing everybody not gonna like when you go deeper because when you go deeper, some things get cut off, some things get trimmed off. Because if you watch the episode, I was speaking of when you going deeper, you gotta let some stuff go. You have to really, you get to really put yourself in a position of compromise. What am I willing to sacrifice now to get what I want later? So if going deeper for you is saying I need to get down, I need to get this body fat down, I need to get to a certain weight, and I need to get a certain waist size. That is going to cause you to go deep within yourself because first of all, it wouldn't be a goal if you had already attained it. Second of all, you're gonna in that process become a different person. Third of all, you're gonna have to make some compromises. Because guess
Mm.
what? In order to drop body fat, you gotta realize what creates body fat. In order to keep weight off, you have to realize what are your habits that you're doing daily that is putting maybe a pound or two on that you're not being conscious about. And then thirdly, you really have to be intentional. Because with me in this gym process, man, it's like, yeah, I got the body, but once you get it, you get to maintain it now. So what you did to get it, oh, you're gonna have to go double to maintain it because once you got it, you like, I already got it. I don't have to do that no more. No, 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 no. Now you have to go deeper to maintain it because it's like that time. It's like when you have that resistance, but it's like, man, I'm gonna stop right here. But then it's like, damn, I want more. So you get to go deeper within yourself to say, how do I pull the more out of me? Because with this space of coaching and personal development all going on, yeah, that is cool. Shout out to all the great coaches and personal development specialists. But One thing's for sure, two things for certain. If you pay a coach $10,000, $20,000, but you're not going deep enough, that money was for waste. That money was all for granted because you're not even going to do what they're telling you to do because you're like, oh man, I believe I can do it, but I'm not going deep enough to achieve it. You're not going deep enough to receive it. And y'all remember how we talked about those trees and that's being like nature a couple episodes ago?
Mm-hmm.
And we're connected. We're all connected.
We are in this, it's the same thing. You see a 30, 50, 60-foot tree, you just like that tree tall. Well, I guarantee you, them roots running about 120 feet deep, at least. Because think about it. Think about how strong that tree got to be at the damn root for the top of the canopy of the tree to be able to stand over 60 feet tall.
Straight at that.
Straight up. And for years to endure turmoil, to endure weathering, to endure the hot ass sun. Think about how deep those roots got to go to be able to get those nutrients from where the real nutrients are. And the nutrients are deep within our spirit. The nutrients are deep within our soul. But you have to tap into another source of being to consciously tap into that other source because it's not on the surface level. It's
That's
not on the
true.
level where anybody can access.
Think of an avalanche, or not an avalanche, iceberg. An iceberg, you see a little tip at the top of the water, but there's all of this at the bottom. That's how the Titanic sunk, right? Because there was a little bit of iceberg at the top, but the side of the Titanic didn't hit what was underneath the water. It was dark waters you couldn't see, right? So it has to be the same way. Like what your foundation, your stability, what is under you, as above, so below, right? What is under you has to be stable. It has to go deep. It has to be a solid foundation for you to go as high as you would like to go.
Can't have a house without a strong foundation.
That part.
It's just not going to stand up.
That part. And the same thing happens in business and relationships, in your physical fitness and your finances. All of these things, you have to have a foundation.
And man, that
Absolutely.
foundation. Oh my bad, Sahat, you were speaking, brother.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. And even like Ray said with the Titanic, right? So imagine if they had a mindset and understanding of the territory and terrain that they were really about to embark on in the Titanic, knowing it's a cold season, knowing we're about to go into a place that a lot of people haven't traveled before. Just imagine if they would have had somebody on the team that built the Titanic and said, you know what? Let's plan for the worst and be ready for the best. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of them having maybe 5-inch steel, what if they would have had 20-inch steel? What if they would have had 20-inch steel on the Titanic that the Titanic was built upon? And guarantee you that Titanic wouldn't have been the story because those people would have been back on land. That boat would have taken a hit, but the boat wouldn't have sunk because it wasn't able to penetrate the actual vessel.
Mm-hmm.
That's when things really start to sink and collapse and just are demolished. When the pressure that is being applied cannot be withheld against the structure that is going against.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
feel
think about
like
water. Oh, go ahead, brother.
I was going to say to add to that. I feel like the ego was a huge part of that because remember the captain of the Titanic was like, not even God could sink this boat, and it was
Oh,
like,
what?
oh, okay,
Oh,
so
you
He said, I'm gonna
tested
show
oh,
it.
you.
so you that's your purchase order. That's what you want to manifest. Like, all right, God gonna show up. Spirit gonna show up.
You want to see?
Every time. Let me show you what this ice do, brother. Let me show you how deep this thing go. Cause
Right.
you only looking on the surface level. You ain't looking about you're
Mm.
not looking
Mhm.
about all the work that successful person don't put in the back end. You're not looking at
Mm-hmm.
all them long hours. You're not looking at all those nights when you when you couldn't get no rest that you really wanted to get, that your body was fiending to get. You're not looking at that.
You're just looking
You're
at the
not
impact.
thinking about that.
Right. Exactly.
You like,
Exactly.
like Ray was saying before I cut her off. Sometimes we looking at the impact that they have 10 years down the road. We looking at the fruits of their labor when we come in contact with them. But a lot of times, man, he just got loaded. A lot of times, we not thinking of, damn, what kind of hardships did they go through before they got in my path? What happened before we came across each other? What and the beautiful thing I'm learning and realizing at being around these high level entrepreneurs that a lot of people are not asking, what happened before your breakthrough? What activities were you doing before you hit that million? What was your habits like, or what was the habits that you create before you get the breakthrough? If you don't start, breakthrough has already happened.
Absolutely.
You're not
Absolutely.
gonna, you're not even gonna want to endure. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you're okay. Make your point. Go ahead. I'll remember it.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, you're skipping a little bit, but we
Okay,
got
but
you.
I was saying, yeah, the thing is, what I realized, if you first, you'll never do the work. It's not, you're not gonna have that much of a connection. Feel like
Mm-hmm.
this is mine. It's already mine. I just gotta go
Mm-hmm.
take it. I gotta take it in a positive
It's
way,
so true.
not in a negative way, but
It rem-
crazy.
No, it's okay. It reminds me of Myron Golden, right? Myron Golden, we went to the Make More Offers Challenge. And for those of you who don't know Myron Golden, if you're an entrepreneur, that's something you should look up. Myron Golden is literally the entrepreneur coach. But he talks about the philosophy of be, do, have. Being is the input for doing, and doing is the input for having. And let me go deeper on what that means. What that means is first your identity must become exactly who it is that ends up having those types of things. Why do you have to change your identity first? Because everything starts within the mind. Anything that was ever created, this lip gloss, this glass, this microphone, this computer, anything that was ever created was first thought of. So you have to create the identity for yourself. Let's take this for example. Let's say the healthy body, the fit body. If you want a healthier body, or you want to lose weight, or you want to build muscle mass, or whatever the situation is, you want a fit, healthy, optimal body. You have to first become the type of person in your mind, associate your identity with somebody who is healthy. If someone who has the identity of being healthy, this person works out consistently, this person eats healthy foods consistently, this person has the ability to say no to fast foods or to things that are highly processed. They have that innate ability already because their identity is something that resonates with being healthy. If your identity does not resonate with being healthy, you're not going to take the action. And that's what it is. Be, do, have. So first you must be. You must first in your mind become and assume that identity of I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am a successful business owner. I am with the love of my life. I am the love of my life. Whatever, if it's love, friendship, family, success, finances, health, whatever your thing is, you have to first become it. Assume that identity, and then that will trigger the doing. Because someone who is healthy, someone who works out, someone who eats healthy all the time, going to the gym and working out is not a chore for them like it is for someone who doesn't necessarily consider themselves as healthy. Right? So if you are not someone that works out every single day, you're not someone that, but you want to be healthy, you have to train your mind first, because then they just get up and naturally do it. Like, we're a part of the morning meetup, and there's this guy in there, Michael Q LLU. Every day, this man is in the gym. in the gym. He hurt himself a few months ago, got a concussion, and could not work out for like 12 weeks. And he was struggling because his identity is someone who is healthy, someone who works out. So it's not hard. A lot of times people are like, oh, well, you're taking the action. It's so hard. It's because you haven't assumed the identity yet. Because once that is your identity, the hard part is to not do it. Go ahead, Dustin.
And you know why it's hard? Not speaking to you, Ray, but speaking to those people that just said that energy. It's hard because you just said it's hard.
Ooh, change
Remember
your
how we talked
bracelet.
about the power of words? Yeah, change that bracelet. Change the bracelet and say it's challenging, but it's getting easier every day. The mind is so fertile, y'all. The mind is so fertile. Like the mind will do anything you direct it to do. Anything, good or bad. Because it is the captain of that ship. So when you constantly putting these heavy, doubtful words into your subconscious, everything in life is gonna be hard. Damn right, it's gonna be hard because you keep saying everything is hard. Stop putting that energy behind it. I don't care if it's harder than damn building a rocket ship. Say, I've never built the rocket ship, but I'm gonna figure it out. You have to, like Ray is saying, you adopt this identity. Identify is the root of identity. Identify what it is that who you have to become to achieve this. If you have to become a rocket, if you have to be a rocket scientist to build a rocket ship, you need to start studying what rocket scientists do. You need to figure out how can you get around rocket scientists. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick cheat sheet or a quick cheat code. Get around people that's doing that, or get around somebody that's already where you desire to be, whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally. Figure out where they are and figure out how you can serve them. So, and the way I say that, or the reason I say that, because when you figure out how to serve them, you get free time with them. So you're not paying for. You may not have to pay no $20,000 for their mastermind. You may not have to pay no 10 bands for one of their groups because you may not have it financially. But there is something. There's always something somebody needs that they are not having or not having access to in that moment that you can figure out how to do it. I promise. If you think long and hard, you can figure out how to get yourself in that room and not even pay no money. I know
It's
it
true.
because I've done it. I have done it
Everything is possible.
firsthand.
I got this wristband. Everything is possible.
And every time, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ray, but I love
No,
how you say that. Like I've adopted, like y'all been rubbing off on me, okay? For in the most positive way. Like no cap.
I love it. It's true. Everything is possible. We literally just said we were part of Akia Azula's creation for Manifesting Miracles 2 weeks ago, right? And we just said, like, look, we want to create an opportunity to be able to travel and do our work and not have to worry about finances or anything like that and just be able to be free, right? Really assume that freedom. Not 4 or 5 days later, a couple days later, we got a call like, hey, I know it's short notice, but I wanted to know if you guys were going to come to LA because I want you to speak at our retreat. Speaking of
Congratulations.
which, I'm also going to purchase you guys tickets to the LA Convergence where there's going to be hundreds of consciousness leaders in the industry. They'll be there. And they're my friends. So I want to introduce you to them. And it's just like we said we wanted to speak in front of other people's audiences. We said we wanted to travel and do our thing. And we wanted to be able to be free and not tied down and not have to worry. And so it aligns exactly when we were supposed to be moving. So this week, we're moving. We're packing up all our stuff. We're putting it in storage and we're going to be traveling for a few months. We're going to LA. We're going to Vegas. We're going to Denver. We're going down to Georgia for a few months. We have our retreat down in Georgia in May. So we're about to be moving around. And so when you decide what it is that you want and you figure out like, okay, who, not how, that's another one. Instead of going, deeper, not wider, who, not how. Oftentimes people are like, well, how am I going to do that? How is this going to make, like, I don't understand how, like, I can possibly, you asking the wrong questions. How is not your business? That is the universe's business.
Man,
We got Mr. Smith giving us fires and hearts in the comments. Thank you.
let's grow, brother.
Yeah. How is not your business? Your business is who? Who has done it? What did they do to get there? Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, who's done it? Who has actually done the work? Who has put themselves out there? And what did they do? And what's awesome about it is when it comes to success in anything, whether if it's a successful relationship or your finances or your body or your business, success period leaves
Leaves
clues.
clues.
Absolutely.
And when you start asking that who instead of that how question, it gets you in that space where you see that no matter who you are, where you're at on your journey, we all, if you have some kind of business, it involves two people. It involves more than one party, because if you have the customer, or you have the client, or the person that's buying the product or the service, and the person that's providing it. So on every kind of level, we are a salesperson in some kind of way. So when you get in that space of who, it branches you out and extends those roots so that you can find other people who are on that frequency who can bring you exactly what it is that you are looking to achieve, your desired result.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start to branch out and you start to ask these who's, you can get into these circles. You start to build these connections with other beings, and you start to grow and expand in a way that you never thought you could before.
Mm-hmm. And I would love to talk about energy because I like to integrate and connect everything. Everything is energy. So when you search for who has the answers instead of how, what's amazing is you can't grow past a level of consciousness you can't think past a level of consciousness that you're already in. Let me put it that way. You can absolutely grow past, but you can't think in a higher level consciousness than where you are right now. You can't perceive that. So when you don't know how to do something, which oftentimes when you're growing and going past your comfort zone, you don't know how, right? But when you find out who does it, it increases that level of belief. And so on an energetic frequency, you're putting out those frequencies of, I believe this can happen. I see that it can happen. If they can do it, I can do it too. And so energetically, you put that out into the universe. Thoughts are things. So whenever you think like, oh my God, so-and-so can do that. Myron Golden can do that. If he can do that, I can do that. If he can make $1 million in a day, I can make $1 million in a day. He's only a person. He's using a system. I can follow a system, right? You're putting that energy of belief out into the universe, and then the universe thus then will return that same energy to you. That is the way that energy works. So if you focus on who has the answers versus how, because how, you can't think past a level of consciousness that you currently hold. You can't think past that. You don't know how, right? So you're not just going to magically pull it out of nowhere. Find out who's done it, and then just implement the things that they did, and then just add your own little flavor, add your own little sauce to it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Are you still here, brother? Oh, there you are.
Man,
You
I don't.
spoke and he arrived.
Yeah, I don't lost my little light of my dang on license, but it's all good. But truly, it's a formula. It's definitely a formula and a method to the.
It is a method to the madness. It is a method to the madness, because if you are just kind of going with chaotic energy, that's what you're going to attract. If you're just doing random stuff and you don't have no structure, what's awesome about the way that the universe flows is it's completely balanced. 100%. If our Earth, which is spinning on an axis, just shifts a half a degree, half the world would burn up or freeze. So it requires balance. There's definitely a method to the madness. It requires you to be in full balance, and also to harness both sides, to harness the light, the dark, the divine and less divine. But it's important for you to harness these types of energies in order for you to flow, because that is the way that the universe flows.
And Gaia, Earth, is a great example of as above, so below, showing us that balance. Because if she was to shift in just a few degrees, it could alter the life on this planet. And so when you look at balance within ourselves, eating a certain kind of way, you don't want to, for example, eat too much acidic foods, because that acidity will eat away at your cells and cause cancers and dis-ease in the body. So there's that balance. So when you look at how we can apply balance in every aspect of our life, it really starts to bring awareness and cognize to the consciousness on how exactly to navigate, and what exactly do you identify as. So many times we get our identity of who we are at a young age. And many people have been told as a child to stay in a child's place, and be quiet, and you got your butt whooped and all this stuff. And that energy has festered and grown into what you are now. So a lot of what we know growing up was just a catalyst. It was um, a paradigm shift, if you allowed it to open you up and expand you to who you truly are. A lot of people don't really, when you really think about that, who are you truly? Like, ask yourself, like, who am I? And think
Oh,
about
that's
that.
the
And,
one.
and remove man made constructs and say, who are you? Who are you? Not, oh, I'm a teacher, or I'm a healer, or, I'm a technician. Like, no, that's a man made thing. Who are you?
Right. On a spiritual level.
On a spiritual level. And we all share that thing in common, because at our core level, we are all magnificent. At our core spirit, on our soul level, we're all perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's these man-made constructs that we have created, that have been perpetuated, that show us what it's like not to be perfect, that that
And
that
two,
that tells us that we are imperfect. But it doesn't resonate with me, because why would the divine that is pure create something that is impure? That doesn't make sense. So that is all
You are
a
impure.
construct of the mind.
You're impure by your actions.
You're
oh,
impure by your
and your
thoughts.
Wait.
thoughts. Oh,
Wait. Mm-hmm.
You got it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you think is how you will flow in your life. If you're a negative person, you're like, oh, this won't work, or, um, I can't do that. Then you've already set into your mind, you've already told every cell in your body, they've all received the transmission. They've all got the memo that, hey, this is impossible. This isn't going to work. We can't do this. And then when you do it, you get upset. It's like, oh, I told you I couldn't do it. And then, but you've already set yourself up for that. And now you've compounded some anger or some kind of lower emotion, and a lot of times that energy will not dissipate. It you may not think about it in the moment, but like something will trigger that thought, and it'll be like, man, I haven't worked on this. Oh man, I'm angry because I can't do this, or that's impossible. And it's like, that's your purchase order.
That energy stays there.
It's stored within the crystalline structure of your cells.
Absolutely. And that's why it's
'Cause
important to get into the movement of energy. When you feel angry, frustrated, upset, discontent, whatever, whenever you feel any of that stuff, just go ahead and move that energy, transmute that energy from anger to laughter to joy.
You got to do a verb, do some action.
Absolutely.
And that's why this is called let go and flow, because when you let go of something, you're doing an action.
Think about
when
tug
you
of
flow,
war.
You are in an actionable state. You are flowing.
Yeah.
You are moving with the rhythm of the cosmos. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yeah, like tug of war, right? If you play in tug of war, you pulling, and what does that do to your hands? Sometimes holding on to things that aren't serving you, that have tension, that have resistance, cause more pain than it does to just release it and surrender.
Ray, you on one today, ain't you? See,
We just came out the dream state.
Hey, I tapped back and I said, "Oh my goodness, she went there. She's going there." Man, and
So,
truly,
yeah.
like, what about that action, that thing? When you put that action into place, that belief automatically moves in, and it pushes that doubt out the way. Because I'm gonna give y'all a quick example, right? So last evening, I had a long trip, tired, been up, beating the pavement. But before I even picked up and made the decision to make this journey, I said, I'm going to the gym. I don't care if I get to that mug at 2 in the rising. And guess what time I got there? I got there 1 in the rising. Been up, been with it.
He had been with it.
663 DV.
Nah, he's talking to somebody else. He been with it, but he still went to the gym and still did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
be like, excuse me, ma'am, I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah, we're live right now.
hey, I'm telling you, because hey, we in multiple dimensions all the time. So when I was there, were you
Check the company name right there, sir.
and when I was in that gym, I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm so. Let me. I'm gonna mute y'all. Go back to the show.
So I think I know where he was going with this. He basically, regardless of how tired you are, you make a choice in everything that you do. And what you're doing is either putting a deposit into your future or it's withdrawing from your future. So he is someone that says, hey, health is important to me. Hey, going to the gym is important to me. So no matter what is going on around me, that is a priority. And what that does, I love to use this example. Okay, so what that does, you have something in your mind called the reticular activating system, the RAS. It determines what you notice. And every time you make a choice or take an action of any kind, whether if it's conscious or unconscious, whether if it's a habit or whether you intentionally go to turn on the TV, whatever that action is, the reticular activating system takes notes. Hold on one second, takes notes and is like, all right, I'm going to deliver this to Mr. Unconscious, and gives this important folder, the big old label of important, it says important right on it. It says, here you go, Mr. Unconscious. This is what the captain said was important today. And so the Mr. Unconscious looks at it and is like, okay, so TV is important. Okay, Cheetos are important. Okay, oh, we skipped the gym today. I guess that's important, right? And all of your actions are recorded because you intentionally took action to do it. So that is labeled important. So what's going to happen is your unconscious mind then starts to give you cravings. Oh, I just want some Cheetos right now. Oh, I just want to smoke a cigarette right now. I'm stressed out right now. Let me go outside and just light one up real quick. That is your unconscious mind giving you those cravings because in the past, you told the unconscious mind that this is important. So even though it was the middle of the night and Destine still got up to go to the gym, now that choice, that difficult choice, was a signal to the unconscious mind like, this is important. And the more you make that choice, the more consistent you are with making that choice, the more the unconscious mind will bring you the craving to do the things that you once thought were difficult or were challenging or were hard.
Absolutely. And I love this beehive.
Yeah, what is that? You got
Some
flower
kind
of life or something?
yes. Do you got a microscope under some cells?
Did he turn into an Ashia? Oh, there you go.
Oh, you just like manifested back into the physical.
You are phasing in and out of dimensions.
Y'all caught that? Hey, sometimes you gotta go in that little dark place. Hey, sometimes you gotta go in that dark place, and then when you see the light, you be like, "Damn, I always had access to this. Let's grow, let's grow." But I feel like I kind of caught a correlation of what you said, right? About the reticulating. What's that? You said reticulating thoughts?
Reticular activating system. It's literally a part of your brain.
It's kind of like a reticulated python.
No, it's not.
It's the same word.
I was finna say, so do they have a correlation as far as what they're doing? Because when you think about a python and you think about how a python just flows through nature, right?
Mhm.
A python just goes and grows, but it only eats what it needs to eat when it needs to eat it. And the thing about when a python catches its meal, that's all it focuses on. It focuses on subduing the meal, killing the meal, digesting the meal, and receiving the meal for food till it gets to its next destination. So when you were speaking of the thoughts and when you put the action behind the thoughts and you put the positive action behind the thoughts of you saying, I want to write my book in 30 days, and you writing that book in 30 days, you now took that thought, digested that thought, you killed that thought, and ate that thought for food to produce that book.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, dang, was that just my brain doing that, or is that like a real correlation between the two?
No, we do consume dualistic thoughts as food.
Mm-hmm.
And purify the mental electron at the South Pole.
I like how you connected that. I'm not familiar with the reticular python.
It's
python.
Typically the green pythons that you see in the trees that when they attack something they squeeze. So
and the tighter they squeeze, the more life it takes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it is a good correlation because it's all about what you focus on.
Exactly.
It's all about what you focus on.
Yes.
You know, so the unconscious mind is recording information all the time, everything that's going on. So Destine right now is out picking up a load or something like that. So he's in the truck.
Traveling.
He's time traveling, right? He's in the truck. He got the people in the office.
Thanks.
He got the people who he got to check in with. There's all these things going on. Plus he has to drive. Plus he's on the show. Plus he has to listen to what's going on outside. There's so many things going on around us at all times. Think about yourself being in a cafe or a restaurant. The clattering and clinks of the pots and pans in the back, the conversations between the waitresses, the conversations between every single table, the fork hitting the spoon, like the stir of the coffee, like all of these things are going on. Your unconscious mind is recording all of that.
All the stirs and the burr.
The stir, burr. Okay? And your RAS, the reticular activating system, is so important because out of all of those things going on that's being recorded in your unconscious mind, the important folder is what the unconscious mind will bring attention or focus to, because you have deemed that through your actions, through your consistent thoughts, through your habitual patterns, you have deemed that important. So yes. I think it is a really great correlation because it's true, like you said, the python focuses on that target and it does nothing else until that target has been vanquished.
Facts. And then guess what the beautiful part about it? Once it's actually inside the body, it then gives it the time to break down and appreciate the fruits of its labor to get the kill. It don't just get back to moving because it's like, okay, we don't put this whole meal in our body. No, we about to appreciate this for a minute. Let's just soak in this greatness that we achieved in this moment. Don't be so quick to rush once you get to your goal. Appreciate that goal. Show yourself some love.
Mm-hmm.
Send yourself some of that positive energy and reaffirmations of, damn, I remember when this goal was only an idea, and through consistent reticulating thoughts you brought it into this dimension.
You're a creator.
And hello, see, now they starting to wake up. Now they starting to wake up because we putting two making four, and now we having a great existence.
Absolutely.
Because we're truly in control of it. I was just telling Ray and Sahat before, because I was already supposed to be here to get this load because I didn't want to have to go through everything I just went through. Because I already know how it is. You get here, it's 1,000 things going on. You got to check in with the guards, and nonetheless, I had to be in the present because I was at the gym again, and it was a brother there working. And at first, when I first walked in, his attitude just looked real dismissive. But as I left, I said, "Damn, I'll be looking like that sometimes. Let me just talk to the brother." And I said, "Hey, bro, you listen to podcasts?" He like, "No, no, God, dog, that was hard."
Was that a lady?
He said, "No, I don't." No, that was
Oh,
that was a doc. Y'all heard that?
we did. Looked like you
But
hit a crocodile or
oh
something.
man.
You think it was
But when we was talking,
My
I was
mind
like,
just went to
"Hey,
Grand
brother."
Theft Auto.
was that a
I was
lady?
like, "Hey,
In
listen,
my head, look, I'm
big,
gonna tell
big,
you where
big
my head
trouble."
went that quick. Have you ever seen that movie Legion with about the angels? It had
I feel like I
it was
have.
okay. So like the first scene, they were in a diner, and then like all of a sudden the rapture happened or whatever. Not the rapture, but the angels started coming down, and there was an
Uh
old
huh.
woman that was in the diner with them, and she was like, she said something like very, she said it in very a very nice lady, nice old lady kind of tone. She's like, dearie, you're about to die, and then she turned
And
into
then she
the
turned into
Oh
this
man.
crazy thing.
yeah, and then she started crawling on the walls, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, damn, that's what you just hit.
Oh, I did see that
I was like, you
movie.
just hit her. I don't know
That
why.
movie. That movie creeped me out.
You're
It,
imagining
Oh
it.
it
my
wasn't
goodness.
just a
No.
regular old lady, like just someone walking down the street. You hit
It was
like
a crazy old lady walking on her back.
yeah, and she was in the middle of doing some exorcist stuff, and then you just hit her, and it was like, man, get up out of here.
Man.
No. Hey, look. Nobody was harmed in the making of this podcast or show. Let go and flow. Got to put that disclaimer out there
Man, we
because
could
these calls
we'll
are
put that we'll
recorded.
put that in the credits.
I'm telling you. But truly and honestly, when you live in the present, sometimes you will connect with people that you would never ever imagine. And the reason I'm saying that was because I took the time and to ask that brother, did he listen to podcasts? And at first he told me no, he only listened to Joe Rogan and another comedian. And I said, you listen to podcasts? That's almost saying like you only listen to two artists, but you don't listen to music.
Right.
So as we begin to talk, and he was like, "What's your show about?" I tell everybody, I love when they ask me this because I know I got 3 more seconds. I tell them it's about mindset shifting, practical ways to change your reality in this dimension. And his mind was like, bro, I am there. And he began to then tell me about he's already in the same process of helping others have an enlightening and helping others think through their problems, which are challenges. And he is also a facilitator in his community.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And inevitably, we end up talking for 30-ish minutes before I had to cut it off because I had to get over here to pick this up. And it was like, dang, brother, sometimes it's not always about attaining the goal. Yeah, we know we all want to hit the goals, but damn, it's the becoming in the process.
Absolutely.
Love
It's
that.
the becoming in the process of you having to go deeper. Because the thing about goals, real goals, are goals that are going to stretch you. Real goals are goals that are going to make you nervous. Real goals are goals that are going to scare the living fear out of you. They're going to force you to become somebody different. And when you set goals like that, and you make a decision in your conscious mind, like, these are already mine. I may not hit it in the time period in which I project it, but it's mine.
Yeah.
Because you claim it. When you claim it in the present, oh, the future already got it waiting on you. You just got to grow.
Fact.
You just got to grow deeper.
These are facts.
Mhm.
These are facts.
And truly, truly, I tell anybody. He asked me a powerful question, y'all. He said, "What are two things that you feel like are the most important for you to truly elevate into a higher level of consciousness?" And I said, environment and thought. Because those two things right there play so much into the identity in which Sahat was referring to earlier. Everybody out here has a vision for your life. Everybody. But are you gonna let their vision be your reality, or are you gonna let your vision be your own reality? Hey sir, I need you to go down to the office.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
I thought you were gonna
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
say. um, Go ahead, because that was
Yeah,
my
no, I
train of thought.
completely agree with that too. And it's interesting because like I spent a lot of my life living up to the expectations of other people. You know, what does my dad want me to be? What does my mom want me to be? She might be watching right now. Hey mama, if you are. What does my dad want me to be? What does my mom want me to be? What do my teachers want me to be? What do my leaders want me to be? What do my friends want me to be? And I would be that. And I don't know if you guys noticed, this is going back to something that Sahat said earlier in the video or in the podcast, was basically like, you know, a lot of spiritual people, I don't know if you realize, but a lot of spiritual people will change their name or change their identity. And the reason being, the reason that is, myself included, Sahat included, the reason, I think Destine included too, shoot. The reason why we change that identity. Oh, hold on. I got you on mute. Go ahead. What'd you say, brother?
I was saying, yeah, I'm gonna change it to Steady. My name gonna be Steady. Everybody call me Steady.
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 Last name Steppin. You're like, that's my middle name, last name Podcast. You're like, I am the brand.
That's too funny. You are the brand though.
Like Subway. Like I am Subway.
Yeah, but my point is, the reason why spiritual people change their name or change their identity is because oftentimes it has nothing to do with their birth name. It's that identity that was pushed upon them versus the identity that they choose. That's the only difference, you know, and the reason why people go through that transition. I choose to be a ray of light, right? I choose, instead of being a compilation. My birth name is half my mother and half my father's names. Their names put together, and my father is part of a lot of my traumas growing up. So because that was so traumatic for me, and I lived a lot of my actions. So your identity drives your actions, right? And your actions determine what you're going to have in life. So my identity was not being able to receive the affection or approval of my father. So my actions were, well, how do I get how, right? That how, this will get you in trouble. How do I get that approval? How can I get that from other people? And that was, and this was all subconsciously. This wasn't like I'm intentionally going to have toxic relationships. Like, no, this was all subconscious. Like, subconsciously, I did not get that approval. I did not get that love. I did not get that acceptance from my dad. So, how do I get it from other people, from outside sources? And that's the problem. First, you got to go within. The who in this situation is me. Thank you, Sui. Love you, love you. The who in this situation was me. So in order to change your identity, you have to release all of the things that were holding you down and keeping you back in the past and step into exactly who it is that you would like to become. Instead of seeking outwardly, seek inward. Seek inward.
Absolutely. I was gonna say something that Destiny, that thought, it came back to me, and then I was holding on to it, and
then it ran away.
and then it was like it just went outside to go play while you was talking, and I was like listening to what you was saying. My thoughts be doing stuff like that, but yeah,
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back. So, Destin was talking about something very important that he was talking to the guy about, that environment and that thought. Because no matter where you are physically on this planet, uh, you don't have to be your environment. And me being a prime example, that I grew up in the murder capital of the world, Gary. And that place, like, it's gone
Gary
down.
The murder capital of the world.
I don't know if it still is, because so many people have transitioned in that area, but it was for quite some years. It was for like a couple of decades.
And Gary's so small.
And that's what was crazy about it, was that it was competing with places like Chicago and
Detroit.
New York. Yeah, Detroit, like places that are like 3 times bigger, and it's because
Gary's like that big.
It's because you have, like, even though it's a small area, there were so many people that were transitioning from mostly violence, that the amount of people that were dying far exceeded the amount of people that were being brought in that space. And so, whenever people would ask me, like, oh, hey, where were you born? And, I tell them, they'd be like, oh, man, they get these, if you've ever heard, the people that have heard of Gary, they're like, oh, you beat on your women, or you out here doing gang stuff? Like, none of that. Like, I've never put my hands on a woman. I don't play that stuff. And so people will, I have people in my family that were born there, and that's part of that identity. Like, oh man, and this is no shots fired at anybody, but we all know these people, man. Oh, I'm from these streets, and I'm from that block, and I'm just limiting myself by claiming just one street instead of this entire planet. Be like, nah, man, this is my street, this is my block, this is my house. Like, and you have those people that are running the streets, and that's part of their identity is, I grew up in this and
thug life.
Right. I'm about that life. Like, I'm a ride or die. Like, why are you?
And they wear it like a badge of honor.
Like, you realize that's toxic. Like, you don't have to ride or die. You can just ride and live forever. Like, you can ride and live forever. Like, that's an option. I just want you to know, like, there are other options on the table. Like, and so, like, you get part of this that becomes part of the identity, the environment, and it's like, nah, that's not me. And so when people see me now, nobody ever says, like, oh man, you must be from Gary, because you all deep in spirit. Said by 0 people. Like, I don't think on this timeline, on this earth, maybe Earth 412 next door or something like that. Maybe they got a good Gary where it's like full of gardens and carbon-based people doing, like, skipping down the streets, kind of like Pleasantville and stuff like that. That kind of wholesome energy. But no, not on this timeline. Like, nah, they turned Gary into something that you would see in, like, the opening scene of Terminator or something like that, some post-apocalyptic environment. And so I say that I say that because your environment is not you. You are not your environment. Matter of fact, when you look past that's a man-made construct. Like, I grew up in a ghetto, man-made construct. The guy come up with that term, ghetto, he's like, I'm gonna create humans and put them in a ghetto, make y'all figure it out. Like,
that reminds me of that saying, like, you can take a man out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of a man or something.
That can
That's not true.
That's not true. That is not true, because I'm not the same person I was when I was a child. I'm gonna just say that. Yeah, you can. I mean, that's like you got these ingredients, and you're gonna create a soup. You don't have, if there's something in those ingredients that does not vibe with you, you don't have to put that in just because other people were doing that. If other people were putting MSG in their soup, would you put MSG in your soup knowing that it's a neurotoxin and that it messes? I'm sorry, it's an excitotoxin that gets you addicted to foods. Would you use that?
And
Okay,
so
then.
how I
MSG
want to
makes them
jump. I want to jump in with y'all too, real quick, when y'all get done.
Oh no, I can put that. I already did the soup thing, so y'all know how to make soup. Don't put no MSG in.
Yeah.
Man, and
Yeah,
And
truly,
careful,
truly,
because a
like,
lot of restaurants put MSG in their food too. So
yeah.
gotta be careful.
oh,
This
oh, that's that addictive chemical that make you kind of, what's
Crazy.
that? Yeah, not
It's like
crazy.
well,
it's like cocaine. No, it
it,
makes you
it
crazy.
no, it is in the same category as cocaine because it makes you addicted to these foods. Like if you look at most of the name brand stuff, like stuff that has like salt in it, like chips and things like that, they have MSG in there.
Mhm.
A lot of Asian places,
Mhm.
like Chinese restaurants, growing up used MSG heavily
They
as
sell it on the count. Like you go to the grocery store, you go into the spices or the baking
they
aisle.
they sell just straight MSG.
MSG is on the counter.
It's a flavor. They call it a flavor enhancer. It's an excitotoxin that when it's introduced to your body, it's like saying like, "Yo, this food is really good. Like I got to mess with this. Like, oh yeah." And it could be like the worst thing ever. It'd be like potted meat or something like that. Like, ugh. But you'd be like, man, give me some potted meat, man. I gotta eat that
The
straight up the
spam.
can. No shots fired.
No shots.
No
No
shots.
shade. No shade. No
No.
shade. But it's because it's a chemical reaction within your body. It causes a chemical reaction within your body that makes you crave more of it.
Hmm.
And so that's why we call it cocaine, because cocaine has the same attributes.
And anything with sugar is pretty much cocaine. We call it that because sugar and cocaine has the same molecular structure. Like if you was to look at what makes sugar sugar and what makes cocaine under a microscope, they would look identical.
And let's clarify, when we say sugar, we don't mean low glycemic sugars such as sugars that are in fruits or natural sugars. We're
Mhm.
talking about
Refined
that refined,
white
that
sugar.
white, that what's the word?
Process.
Process. I was gonna say products. I'm like, that's not it. It's a P word. Processed sugars. Those the corn starches, the high fructose corn syrup, those things were created in a lab,
Hmm.
low key by the Nazis, but that's a totally different story.
This is true.
That's a different podcast.
That is a whole different
Oh,
podcast.
and before we go, because my phone is on like 9%. Quick message, y'all, because I know we all gonna miss each other, but we still always connected through divine spirit and energy. We will be absent for 2 weeks. Ain't that right? 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
Yep, two heptads. We're gonna be
Only
traveling.
2 quick shows. So in this time, we need y'all to really just take the time and go out and dig deeper. Go get you a shovel, go into your memory bank, and dig deep on everything that you thought you believed to be true. And then say, you know what? Let me challenge some of this stuff. Let me challenge some of the things and titles and beliefs that have been taught to me as a child, and see, is that really who I am? Really who I desire to be? Or is that what my environment is telling me I should be? Is that who my environment is telling me I should become? Because
Absolutely.
once you take control of your identity, oh my goodness, the cosmos will not disappoint. They won't disappoint because guess what? You in control of them. You
Hmm.
control them. Stop giving
As within,
everybody else
so
control about your um stop giving everybody control of who you are. I learned that firsthand from my environment. And the reason we can speak so strongly and passionately about this is because we did the first step and we took accountability. And then we did the second step, we took action. And then we're in the third. and beyond of living it. And now we're also reaching back. We're reaching back. Hold on,
Are you
hold on. Let
reaching
me
back
let
to
me
that
mute
lady over
y'all.
there? Oh,
Yeah, he reaching back to the
I
lady
think that
because
lady's like, you reaching to me, honey?
she needs she want to raise her vibration too.
She's like, can I be on your podcast?
And I love that too, because you are not your environment, you are not your emotions, you are not your thoughts. Okay, these are all things that are in motion.
Let go and flow.
And you can observe them, and to be the master is to observe them and to really assume your purpose. Like he said, dig deep in those beliefs. The way to challenge a belief is to question it. Question your beliefs, because a lot of the beliefs were given to you. I know, right? I know, right?
I was like, bro, what's your camera shot got? What are you? This ain't OnlyFans.
You are too funny.
Like, check out these sweatpants. That just reminded me of Kevin Hart.
And they're gray.
Whew.
All right, hold on a second. This is what we gonna do. And when he ready,
when he ready,
we'll bring him back.
I'm crying. I got actual tears.
That's too funny. That is too funny. Okay. I lost my whole train of thought with that one.
I was really doing my best not to say no. I was like,
I was too, and then you lost it, so I lost it.
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, oh, I can't holding this back.
We're back.
Let go and flow.
Let go and flow. What's the theme song?
Yeah, my Kundalini is rising. Let go and flow. That's the song, y'all.
I love it. So anyway, y'all, we're gonna be gone for 2 weeks. Really, just restructure your beliefs. Oh, are you back?
Yeah,
Restructure.
we got another spiritual being in the building, man. You know, that's when you just operating in the flow. You connect to people that you don't even really know. Damn, I'm spitting bars again. Golly, listen, I'm putting myself on mute. My phone about to die, y'all. So Ray and Sahat about to close the show. I love y'all. I will see y'all in 2 seconds, which will be 2 weeks in a time. But peace and blessings to y'all. We're gonna flow, and we're gonna go to the top. I love y'all, man.
Absolutely. And while we're gone for this 2 weeks, everybody, take this time. It's spring, y'all. We just passed the equinox. Take this time to ground yourself.
Yes.
Go outside, get some sun on your skin, get your feet in the dirt, and allow the electrical energy from the earth to charge and rebalance you out as you do this work. It is spring, which means it's time to plant the seeds and water them daily.
Go on that. Go put them bare feet on the earth. And this is what I love about science, because science will back some stuff up. They have scientifically proven that when you go barefoot on the ground, you are actually releasing toxins and negative energy from your body into the ground, and the earth is giving you energy that's coming up through your feet chakras, your vitris, and it's flowing in your body and giving you healthy benefits. So when we talk about like grounding, like there are numerous health benefits to grounding. It's not just balancing your energy, but you know, when people go out there and hunt trees, they're not just doing it just because they love nature. Like, yeah, that is a huge part of it, but they cognize, they have that awareness that when you do hug a tree, it actually gives you energy. It actually allows you to release toxins from your body. Like, you're not gonna be an angry person, be like, oh man, you know what, screw this, I'm gonna go hug this tree, and you're gonna still be angry. It just don't happen.
I don't think those angry people hug trees.
They don't.
And that's the problem.
That is the problem.
And, you know, as we're on this scientific tip, we're a spiritual integrator. So we love to connect the dots for you guys, connecting mind, body, and spirit in order for you to manifest the true happiness within. And so when we're talking about health and we're talking about the electrical energy current that's flowing from the earth into your feet, into your body, what it does is it oxygenates the blood. We talked about this a few weeks ago, that your cells only need 3 things to be healthy: oxygen, water and to eliminate waste. So if your cells are easily able to be oxygenated, to be full and vibrating with high energies of water, and they're able to eliminate waste, you will be healthy. Your cells are healthy. You are the healthiness of your cells, right? So oxygenating the blood will release a lot of dis-ease, a lot of dis-ease, where like blood pressure, cholesterol. It'll help balance out. There's so many different things. I mean, you can look it up. We can go on into this for literally plasmas, but
That'd be a whole nother episode.
that
too.
is definitely a whole nother episode. But there is scientific proof that says if you go outside and you connect physically to the earth, it will balance you out emotionally, physically, and mentally. So take your butt outside and go plant your seeds, baby.
Yes.
We love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and joining us this week. And we will see you in 2 weeks, okay? 2 weeks, we will be back.
Absolutely. So thank y'all for joining us. We love y'all and continue to vibrate in your magnificence.
Have a beautiful, magical, and manifesting day.